Okay, so this is Savoring Your Mixed Salad, Embracing the Multicultural Classroom. As we came up with titles, of course it has to be food related. I teach at Le Cordon Bleu, so it's always about the food. But we talked about, what?
And we love to eat.
And we love to eat, yeah. We've got the wicked to prove it. We kind of talked about calling it the melting pot, because that's what we think of in terms of multicultural. But somebody more brilliant than I said, but wait a second, melting pot is a merging of cultures, and you all kind of become homogenous, right? Become American into our American cultural melting pot, and that's not what this is about. So we found a salad is when you can take, oh, there's the red pepper, oh, there's the pine nuts, you know, there's lots of fruits and nuts in our classes, right? You'd probably agree. So we thought we'd change it to a salad where you actually can savor each of the individual cultures, demographics, just a variety to really enjoy that. Wanted you to know straight up that this is a Chuck Norris approved class, in case you were wondering, so now you know. And then also, have you guys been tweeting the BYUI OTL? Have you been using that during this conference? I went on last night to see how many people were putting hashtag, what, you know, putting any, it's mostly me, yes. I know, I'm like, give me a tweet and I'll do it. Anyway, so now's your big moment. You can tweet, oh, I just won 2 free prizes at the Savoring Your Salad class. So we wanted to give you fun prizes because frankly, you teachers don't get enough rewards, you know, so. And I love free stuff. So I think, Lori, you gave them free stuff as they were coming in. So just silly things. So little Tony Romas and wingers. There's some desserts, some appetizers, $5 off, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. All right, so, oh, and then you each have been given a little yellow or greenish, whatever, card. Because we wanted to make this interactive. So we're gonna, throughout today, we're gonna ask you kind of multiple choice questions. And whatever your answer is, find the letter and hold that up so we can kind of get some instant feedback from you guys, just to kind of make it fun. By the way, I'm Trina. This is Lori. This is Jennifer. So we each have 10 minutes. We're going to talk really, really fast.
It's okay if you don't.
I'm going to be just introducing the general ideas, and then Lori's going to go through some case studies, and then Jennifer is going to give you some nitty-gritty details and helpful tips, practical question and answer, and whatever else time is left. Okay, so first of all, just so we kind of know, are you A, pathway teacher, B, an online degree teacher, C, an on-campus boots on the ground, you wandered in here by mistake, or an administrator checking in on us to make sure that we didn't say like false documents. Okay, or boyfriend, or yeah, I should have added that. Okay, so, wait, there's a D back there. Or did you just do that to stress us out? Okay, so mostly pathway though, right? I did see some B's. Yeah, some B's. Okay, so good. I love Elder Bednar, and actually there was a quote earlier in our keynote that kind of referred to the same talk. And he says this often when he speaks to us, and that is, regardless of whatever words happen to come out of our mouths, listen to what the Spirit is telling you. That's the teacher of this class. That definitely applies to this class. So if we say blah, 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 and something totally random enters your head, that's the inspiration. Write that stuff down. Because frankly, we may not say anything intelligent. So pay attention to the Holy Ghost. We know that's the true teacher. This is a great quote by Neil A. Maxwell, whom we also love. It says, "We live and teach amid such a variety of individual personalities, experiences, cultures, language, interests, and needs. Only the Spirit can compensate for such differences." And we're going to talk about how it's not just about culture. It's about all of these other aspects, the needs, the demographics,
the age.
Yeah, the age, all of that kind of stuff. So we all have international students, and we will talk about the international aspect of it. And we think, English is so easy. What's their problem? Of course, English is not. But it's not even just the language. It's the understanding. So this is one of my favorite little videos. I taught for Berlitz School years ago, and this is a commercial. It's really clever. It's a commercial for Berlitz Language School. Let's see if you can hear this. The audio guy came in.
Das hier ist das wichtigste Gerät des Wissens, das Überlebenslernen. Mayday. Hello, can you hear us? Can you over? We are sinking. Hello?
This is the German Coast Guard.
We're thinking.
What are you thinking about?
I love that. I think that's hilarious. So it's not just about, whoops, hold on, wrong one. It's not obviously about language, but it's about content and understanding. Whoop, where did our?
It's right there.
It's right there. Oh, there it is.
Click on it, yeah.
There it is, okay. Okay, so moving on. I know you probably have already seen this video 1,000 times, so I'm not going to take the time to watch it. But if you haven't seen it, here's the link. Take the time because it's awesome. This was back in 1971 when Elder Eyring made this amazing prophecy that BYU, Ricks at the time, would serve students around the world. That was before the internet. And I'm sure if I were sitting in the audience, I would have gone, oh, good luck with that. You know, like, how did he even know that? Well, obviously, because he's amazing. But anyway, it's an awesome video clip, so I want you to watch it. And the fact that we are serving the world is direct fulfillment of this prophecy, which is so exciting. We could probably all get jobs anywhere else and make $1 bazillion more, but the fact that we're part of fulfillment of prophecy, that compensates for a big fat paycheck in my book. I think we're doing something extremely meaningful here. And you guys already know that because that's why you're here as well. Anyway, so I thought I would make well, I didn't make this map. Actually, I had to hunt down somebody who had already made this map. So this is as of a couple of weeks ago. This is where all of our international students are coming from. I mean, we've got United States on here as well, but here are the countries that we're in. And if you took that little tour in the, what's that hall called? Bidoff, yeah, thank you. Did you see the maps on the wall that showed where the students were? I think that's super awesome. As we work with these international students specifically, in my experience with them, they're so thrilled to be a part of BYU-Idaho because it represents the church. Now, if you've served a foreign mission, I was in Europe and there's like 3 of you, in a branch, and you're just so hungry for anything from the church. And so it's that thread that connects them to the church, and they love that. And they see that the campus is huge and there are all these Mormons, and they feel a part of something really big. So it represents hope, it represents the church, and it's a representation that connects them with their faith. Okay, so really quickly, got to get the little definitions on here. 3 different definitions. One is cultural awareness, simply a consciousness that you recognize that they think differently. That was a revelation to me when I first traveled outside the United States, was that different cultures think differently. Their humor is different, and it doesn't always translate. Cultural diversity is simply the variety of the human societies or cultures in a specific region. And then what we're going to be talking about today specifically is more cultural competence, just being aware, being sensitive, and knowing how to relate in various ways. So that's what we're going to talk about. Here's a little quote. This is from the Office of Minority Health 2001. Cultural differences include race, ethnicity, religion, but also gender, sexual orientation, age, disability, and socioeconomic status. So all of that is part of that cultural salad. All right, so let's see how you guys are doing. Where is Kiev? Is it in Asia? A. Is it in Europe? B. Is it C, South America? Or D, in my chicken? Get it? Chicken Kiev? Oh, I got some people going, okay, the answer is B, Ukraine. So quick story, last January, I was teaching GS 120L, and I had 3 Ukrainians in my class, in Kiev specifically. And this was when Russia decided to start hoopla in their country, right, and all of that. And one was a stake president, one was a bishop, and one was just a regular guy in a ward. And it was so fascinating because as they were, I was like, are you okay? We were hearing such amazing things happening, or amazing and bad ways, right? They were going down to the square and not participating in rioting and anything like that, but bringing food and firewood to their fellow men who were down there in danger. And they talked about how their states were fasting for the people and the country. And I thought we should do that. So our class fasted for these 3 students in their country, and you could feel that through the internet. You could feel that unity, and it was the coolest thing ever. And so a quick little shout out for just, watch the news, pay attention to what's going on in the world and how it affects your students. Oh, there's my little example. Another example is I taught a math class, and I had some Ukrainians, and we were talking about, oh, you got to have a budget. Oh, that's so great. You got to have a budget. And one of them wrote to me and said, how am I supposed to have a budget? Why is that a wise idea when our money devaluates 45% in 6 months? I'm like, good point. Why don't you invest in education and your family? You know, I mean, because I hadn't even thought about that. All right, next question. Choose the correct flag for Ghana. Is it A, B, C, or D? This is a harder one, right? Oh, yeah, some hesitance on some faces.
Oh.
It's A, Ghana. Next question. What language do they speak in Brazil? Brazilian, Spanish, Portuguese, Latin, ABC? Oh, that was kind of clever, actually. I'll accept that answer. But yeah, correct answer is C, Brazilian Portuguese, which is very different from Portugal Portuguese. But you're right, there's some Spanish going on because they're surrounded by Spanish-speaking countries. Next question, what country is next to Haiti? Is it Jamaica, Tahiti, Bermuda, or the Dominican Republic? That's right. Answer is D. Haiti is right next to the Dominican Republic. Where did the church recently have a new temple dedication? Why would it be important to know this? Because if you have students in that country, you can be all, oh, did you go to the open house? They might not even know about it. Is it Canada, Germany, Peru, or Italy? The answer is Peru, and that's a terrible picture, but isn't that a pretty temple? That's the Peru, and I have students that are from that city, which is super awesome. All right, so time's up, right?
Yeah, do this one. It's awesome.
Okay,
This is
so
really
a paradigm is how you guys know what a paradigm is, how you're thinking. So this half of the room, you're going to close your eyes. No cheating. You guys keep your eyes open. Really quickly, just to look at all that stuff, sink in, become one with the slide. Now, you guys close your eyes. Ready? Close your eyes. The next group, open your eyes. Over here, you guys back over here. Welcome. Okay, keep your eyes open, and you're just going to kind of look at these words and become one with the slide. Let your mind wander. All right, now everybody open their eyes, and really quickly out loud, fill in the blank yellow word.
Right.
Okay, so words, let me go backwards now. You guys said, right, because you've been programmed to think that. This group saw these words and they said, right.
Oh, I said great.
Yeah,
Great.
someone else I know said great.
I said
I did
great.
it to my friend.
Great.
Great.
I said great.
Great. Look at the slide. It could be great.
I would have said great.
Great.
Oh, well, you're supposed to fill in the one
But
letter.
hey, that's still fruit. I mean, it's still
Okay, obviously
check.
we're culture. We
Yeah.
can accept that.
Yeah, sure, Ram.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm on the fringe.
Yeah.
Thinking outside the box. No, that's true, actually, and that's what it's all about, is to think outside the box.
Yeah.
That's true. So what just happened, how you see the world depends on your background, your exposure, your perception, your training, your experience, all that kind of stuff. So the dimensions of diversity include, like I mentioned before, not just culture. Look at income is on there, work experience, geographic location, certainly what's happening, work style, all of those things factor into how they're relating to you as a teacher. Okay, so last slide and then we'll do more. So what we want to do is have you change from unconsciously incompetent to unconsciously incompetent means you don't even know you don't know. Consciously incompetent means you recognize that you lack some skills and some understanding, some language experience with, how do Ghanaians, what are their typical grammar mistakes. Consciously competent
Aware.
is you're aware,
Consciously
you're working
aware.
on it, and then what you want to get to the point is where you are unconsciously competent, that you've got the skills, you don't even have to think about it. You recognize all of these things automatically. Okay. I'm pointing at the wrong thing, or they're changing colors. Okay, there's some do's and don'ts. We'll have you go.
Okay. So, whoops, sorry, I forgot that one. What country is this? Everybody better know this.
Hold up your thing. Ecuador,
Appreciate the answer.
Bolivia.
I even showed you.
Oh, you should have answered.
Yeah, I was all excited with my clicker. Okay, and it's Ecuador. Anybody been to Ecuador?
Oh, it's upside down.
No Ecuador missionaries? Okay, where do they eat jerk chicken?
Ooh,
I think. Oh, we're gonna think.
Oh, that's good.
It is
We're
yummy.
going with Jamaica. Anybody ever had jerk chicken?
Me?
Yes, nice. That probably helps, huh? Which group are most Peruvians descendants in?
Teresa. You shot that right out.
The answer is the Inca. Okay. What country do our online students not come from?
Yes, it's a good question.
I didn't have time.
Scotland. Okay. Which country has 9 continuous time zones more than any other country? Hey, most of you are getting these. You know, if we grade on the curve, we'd all be okay. Okay, so we're going to kind of skip through these because we
Oh,
only
we'll show
have.
that. I mean, Rosetta Stone, have you guys seen the Rosetta Stone in the library here? We're only one of, I think, 3 universities that have, it's a replica, but still, it's kind of cool, so you can go see it.
It's really cool.
The end.
Are you sure that they're in here? Are you sure those slides are in here?
Okay, moving on, sorry. Okay, so here's my scenarios, and you have a huge influence as a teacher in what you say as far as motivating and understanding your students. So what is going on? I'm sorry my assignments were late yesterday. The internet had gone down in our entire city. The closest city with internet has the highest murder rate in the world. My mother wouldn't let me go. We decided we better lose points. What do you do?
This, this happens a lot for me.
It does.
And power outage, I just accept it without late points.
Right.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you feel good about that?
Yes.
I accept it, but then encourage them in the future to
Have a backup plan?
Yeah, a buffer.
Yeah, motivate for that self-reliance, right?
Well, sometimes though, like the backup plan might be hours away.
Yeah.
I mean,
But you always want to encourage them that
If
just
it
don't,
happens
it didn't
over and
work,
over
and then,
again,
right.
then you're like, okay, they're making an excuse. But one
Yeah.
time, you know.
But
I'm
it's
sure
good to have them
legit.
thinking, great, but you're going to think about something else, not just go, oh, that's my solution, I don't, I can't
Consider
control
where
it.
they're from. I'm
Yeah.
sure when you look at the scenario, you really have to consider where they're from.
Right,
So if they're from
Right.
Africa, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah.
So
yeah, one of the other instructors was talking about Skyping with one of her students, and she could barely see him because he was having to use his cell phone as a hotspot, trying to make it work. Okay, is this answer wrong? The question is, Juan heard his mother working out in the yard. As he went outside, he noticed the sky was blue, his neighbor's lawn was dry. His lawn was wet. How did his lawn get wet? Juan had just put chemicals on his lawn. It's the only reason the lawn would be wet.
GS120L, right there, that's the question.
Is that
It's a
wrong?
plausible answer.
Yeah, it's a plausible. What were they looking for?
The shit water.
Mom watered the lawn, right? Because the sky was blue, so there's no clouds, Mom watered the lawn. You're trying to get them to infer things. But questions like this aren't always going to come out with the right answer, and as an instructor, you need to be aware of what's going to work and what doesn't. Okay, what is happening with this student? The question is, how can we promote higher fiber intake? We can eat more fruits and vegetables and replace refined grains with more whole grains.
Is there an echo in
You
there?
might be using a translator.
Possibly.
I don't know that they would know. You just need to tell them.
using
Okay, this was a student in my first class. She had severe epilepsy, and when she would have a grand mal, she would double words. And she was very concerned that she was going to flunk the class because she isn't aware when she does it. So I said, tell you what, if I see something kind of weird, I'll let you know. And if you're having a bad day, let me know. Again, you just need to be able to talk to them. Okay, what is happening with this student? I'm sure you can tell by my goals last week that I'm not your normal student. You just keep going. So
No, I can talk forever, but.
Any ideas?
Rush just to give me time.
I think it's actually helpful for our students because I hear that sort of idea a lot. I'm sorry, it's your presentation, so if I'm repeating, but the thing is that they think they're unique and that nobody else is different and strange. Not
Okay.
that we should say different and strange,
Okay.
but I think it's helpful for the students to realize that they're not the only one that
Right.
doesn't fit into a certain specific.
They have more
category.
commonalities
They tend
and
to think
differences.
Everybody else knows but me.
Right.
So it's
Right.
helpful, I think, to help them realize they're not the only one.
Okay, very good. I'll confess, I read this and I had no idea what she was talking about. So I went back to look at the goals. She has a terminal illness. And her goals, she was trying to decide if she wanted to work on her 2 sons who were serving their missions on their mission books, or if she should pick out something to be buried in because she wasn't expected to live another year. I missed that because I was skimming through, getting my stuff done, it had to be graded. And what I was able to do was to turn this into a very supportive conversation. And she talked about how important education was. She wanted to set an example to her kids. She wanted to go out living and fighting till the end. And I almost missed it because I was just skimming through. It's not always language. It's not always where they're living. It's all of our students. Whether it's their age or their background or their financial status. And we need to be there. And yes, you need to figure out where that line is between I need to maintain the integrity of this course because it matters, the reputation of BYU-Idaho matters. Yes.
Diversity in my class, I teach family relations, is, oh, I won't fit because I'm from a blended family, or I'm divorced,
Yeah.
or I'm a single parent, so I'm not going to fit. And yet they're becoming the norm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's shifting. And it's just like we talked about at the beginning, it's a salad. Everybody is different. And that's why it's so wonderful. And we need to be able to encourage and embrace that. And I have to say, the years that I've been teaching online have blessed my life in so many ways. And my children, my family, but you need to know where that line is of maintaining that integrity and being sensitive and a loving, supporting instructor to your students. And the only way you're going to know that is being in tune to the Spirit. Yes?
That's what I was going to say. I think it's important to pray before we grade.
Yes.
Because I've had experiences where I'm just like grading and then I'll, for whatever reason, pay attention. I remember whether you were doing it was in capstone, an issue about same gender attraction. And this student decided to tell me that she had just learned that her husband was gay and was going to leave the family. And I think, man, what if I would have missed that?
Yeah.
And she was like, I was her first person that she told.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if we can really have confidence that the Spirit will guide us, we will be able to be there.
But you'll change people's lives. You know, I had a bishop who was just such an incredible bishop. And I remember he called in several of us one time and he said, you probably wonder why I brought you here. He says, you know, there's some youth in the ward that I'm concerned about. He says, I want you to be that person that they write about in the church magazines. I want you to be that support. And he picked youth for each one of us. I want you to work with this person, you to work, whatever it is they need to help them be successful. And we have that same opportunity with our students to help them to succeed. And I love doing bookmarks, so, you know.
She has some left over from last
I
year.
have a couple left over from last year. Apparently nobody wanted them all, but whatever, okay. Here's a quote referencing Elder Eyring's presentation that Trina talked about. And then here's a quote I love with Elder Maxwell. It's just let me know only the Spirit can compensate for these differences. And there's some pointers here on the side that were just kind of helping I personally love bookmarks because I love to stick them in my scriptures and you're flipping through and all of a sudden you come out and just a flood of memories that come back and help you remind things. So that is my part. And I just want to share with my testimony of, I love the gospel. I really do. I love the opportunity we have to be here and change the lives of our students from everywhere around the world. I lived in Bolivia. I know what they're going through. My dad was on disability and struggled financially, and he had a doctorate. I understand the power of education and the blessings that we have. We owe it to our students to be there for them and to be in tune to that Spirit so we can help support them, to help them be self-reliant so they're not going to just keep making excuses, but become who their Heavenly Father truly wants them to be. And this I can leave with you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, you have 5 minutes.
Okay. And that's an awesome, powerful testimony. And that's really all we need to hear, right? We feel that Spirit and we know what we're doing is so important. I'm not quite sure that I don't know how to use a clicker. Like, what do I push?
There you go.
Do I use an arrow or the plus?
Do the, yeah.
Okay, the arrow. I want to just breeze through these things. You know, when you work with second language learners, you need to use as much as many visuals as possible. Try and use lots of verbal feedback using Jing and PowerPoints. And what have we learned? Kaltura. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry to interrupt. But
No, go right
what
ahead.
I have a question about, because my students in Ghana, a couple of them said that they had trouble to watch Jigs. They couldn't make them. They didn't have enough.
It could be bandwidth.
Yeah, it could be bandwidth.
They said that they didn't have enough time or something like that.
So maybe I would refer them to the
Help desk?
the help desk.
And in the
Technology help
new
desk.
program, in Brightspace, you can, when you give feedback, you can click a little button right where you would normally do the feedback, and it'll record your audio feedback.
Yay! I want
And
to
it
give a
won't
shout
take too
out
much
for Sherry's
bandwidth.
class. All of it's online.
But Sherry's class had fantastic information on all kinds of video, audio tools that you can use and the stuff that'll blow your mind. So,
But what they were talking about was not having enough power to get video.
yeah.
They can't watch
Right.
the video,
This
even
would
if they
be-
had everything else working for
Well,
them.
then can they participate in the course? Because don't they have to watch videos for
No,
the
not
course
for our
too?
It depends on the course.
See, for GS 120, they have to be able to see videos. So I would definitely say that that's a help desk issue. That's not something that you as an instructor really can address. Is that?
Maybe try not to have videos that are 20 minutes long, keep them
Yeah.
really short, and then they'll be able to watch them.
Okay, so there's 4 minutes left and I wanted to leave time for questions. Here's what I want you to know. In the app, right, did everybody download the, what's the name of the app? Event Box, right? Event board, sorry. The other one is travel case, Dropbox, anyway, blah, 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 I get them all confused. If you go into our little class, and they're not live links and they're supposed to be live links, there is a link to this PowerPoint. Hopefully they'll make them live someday. And in there, there's also a list of, because what I wanted to talk about is the importance of getting to know your students, because we know in the gospel, that's one of the effective ways of teaching. You need to know your students. If you don't know your students, you're not going to be able to meet their needs. And so on there, and it's not in this PowerPoint, but there's a list of questions, because Pathway doesn't, or BYU doesn't give us, at least myself as a Pathway instructor, very much information about our students from the get-go. I get a name, and then what they don't, if they don't tell me something, I don't really know unless I ask a question. So we thought we could embed a survey in there somewhere in our course at the beginning and ask questions so we get to know our students. What's your family situation? Where do you live? What languages do you speak? Why are you taking this course? Because that helps us give some background information to know our students, because if we don't know our students, then it's more difficult to serve them. One of the things, the reason why I'm skipping through this is because I know you can get those, and these are just resources to use, vocabulary. Oh, okay. Has anyone ever seen this app? Does everybody know? Okay, yes? Yes, Conley, do you use it with your students? Okay, I do, and it has been life-changing for me. This allows me to instant message my students no matter what country they live in, and they can call me, like it's like Skype only phone, or I can call them and talk to them, and you don't have a long distance fee. And so like it's awesome, because during the day, if I get on WhatsApp, it'll ding, my phone, and it's just like getting a message from somebody, a text message from somebody. It's exactly the same thing, and a little picture shows up, and they can ask me the question right away, or they can say, hey, I'm struggling, and I can answer them right back. And the one thing I know about feedback from my experience in working with second language learners is that one of the most important qualities of feedback is it needs to be immediate. And that's hard when you're in an asynchronous situation. But for me, with this one tool, it's opened up a whole new world and a way for me to connect with my students that I haven't been able to do thus far. And I feel like, I know them better. They're part of my life, my everyday life, not just when I'm on my computer typing and doing my job. Does that make sense? It's more like they're my friends instead of my students, my brothers and sisters instead of my students. And I really wanted to close with that thought. That's really who these people are. That there are Heavenly Father's children, and there are brothers and sisters. And I think about my sisters, and I would do anything for my sisters. And I feel like that's the way that the Lord wants us to treat these students that we've been given stewardship over, is to love them and to do whatever it takes to help them to be successful in their experience so that they can move on and fulfill the callings and the purposes that the Lord has for them in their life. Are there any questions really quickly at the end? Because it's basically time to go, but does anyone have any questions? Jennifer, great name, by the way.
Yes, it is a
Yes.
good name. You're probably born about the same time as
Probably.
me. Everyone's named Jennifer.
Yes.
So how do you set
Okay.
boundaries?
Set boundaries?
Like I love teaching Pathway. I don't want my students to be able to get a hold of me.
You don't have to respond.
Yeah, but like I don't.
You can respond whenever you want to.
Okay.
Well, you can have time periods too.
Yeah.
In your personal profile, say, I accept phone calls, I accept emails this time, this day. Don't expect to hear back from me after Saturday at 5.
Sure.
I'll talk to
Sundays
you
I won't
Monday.
be.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
lay it out at the very beginning.
Well, and it's there. sometimes I have to wait a day or two, before I can respond, especially if it's kind of a heavy question, or I'll say, but it's so nice to be able to say, do you need me to call you? Do you need to talk about this? And for me, that's what was missing, was that personal relationship with an international student, because, well, you can Skype, but you have to like be in front of your computer. I have my phone with me wherever I go. Does that make sense? So I can talk to them on the phone, and that really helps. So.
But you do need to protect your privacy.
Yeah, I just haven't I've been working in online learning for 8 years, and I give my cell phone out to all my students. And I have not for BYU, but I've never had an issue, never. They respect me, they don't, and these are not members of the church, my other job, they don't abuse it. They just don't. At least that's been my experience.
Well, occasionally you have a student.
You might get it crazy. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
Don't forget your freebies on the way out.